Breaking news, News 10 NBC has learned that Rochester developer Larry Glazer and his wife Jane died in a plane crash just minutes ago in the Atlantic Ocean just north of Jamaica.
NBC News reports this information comes from their son Ken. Glazer's plane took off at 8:45 this morning from Rochester. It was headed to Naples, Florida. At one point, F-15 fighter jets were deployed because the plane was unresponsive. This since 10 o'clock this morning. News 10 NBC's Amanda Shivari is live at the airport. Amanda, what else can you tell us?
Well, Janet, as you said, Jane and Larry Glazer's son, Ken, just spoke with NBC moments ago. He says that his mother and father were the only two souls on that plane that crashed in the ocean just north of Jamaica. He says, again, they were the only two on board. He does not know if they died as a result of that crash or if they had passed away before the crash happened. Now, when it comes to this plane, we do know that it was a turbo single prop plane with about 6 or 7 seats. And according to the registration of this plane, it was built, manufactured, and purchased all in 2014. So, Janet and Scott, this was a very new plane.
All right, Amanda, and what's the mood there at the airport? Has that information been disseminated there?
Well, where we're standing on the airport is kind of left of the main building. We aren't seeing very many people walk behind us, but I can tell you since we have arrived here, no private planes have gone in or out of this portion of the airport. We're at the U.S. airport side, not the Rochester International Airport where you and I might fly if we were going on a commercial plane. But when I went in earlier to speak with employees, when that employee told me that he saw Larry Glazer get on the plane, they did not know that the plane was unresponsive. So that was news to them. They were shocked. I got the sense that Larry was someone who flew out of here often, someone that they knew and related with. But again, right now we haven't seen many people react just because they're not outside right now.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Again, this plane, a Cicada TBM 700, seats 6 to 7 people. This plane took off from Rochester this morning, headed to Naples, Florida. At some point, it became unresponsive, and NORAD sent out F-15 fighter jets.
Yeah, they said as of 10 o'clock this morning they haven't heard from that plane, and at 10 o'clock is when they dispersed 2 fighter jets. You can see this is the route that it's taken, where it was tracking. It was headed to Naples, Florida from Rochester, and then when they lost contact with it, they tried to make contact with the people in that plane. In fact, one of the fighter jet pilots indicated that he saw the pilot of that plane slumped over, and they know that they were unresponsive at that point.
At one point, they had to pull off following the plane because it moved into Cuba's airspace, and then it eventually moved into back into the Atlantic and the Jamaican airspace, where we are now told that this plane has crashed, and on board the Glazers, Mr. Glazer and his wife Jane. And we can point out that the patriarch of that Glazer family, Malcolm Glazer, just passed away back in May. But we know the Glazers as major real estate developers here in Rochester, currently working on a project right in downtown Rochester, a major project. And these are 2 individuals who are influential in this town, who have many friends, have lived here for years, and will be missed.
Now, we can tell you that Larry is the CEO of Buckingham Properties, the CEO and managing partner of the properties that you made mention of that they have known to develop. And what they're saying most likely cause is the lack of oxygen. It was something that we saw back in 1999, you might recall, with the pro golfer Payne Stewart. He was on a plane with 5 other people. They lost contact with that. It was headed from Texas to Florida or vice versa, and it went down after running out of gas. And similar to this plane was flying for a number of hours at 25,000 feet. No contact with anybody, so they knew that something was wrong.
And at this point, again, the son, Ken Glazer, confirming that his father, Larry Glazer, and mother, Jane Glazer, perished in this crash of the plane that went down in Jamaica. You're looking at a picture of the plane. That's a Cicada TBM 700. It took off from Rochester this morning, again, headed for Naples, Florida.
And this was not an older plane. This is a 2014 plane. This is a plane that at least it was last registered in 2014, so it's a newer model that they had there.
This plane registered, yes, to Buckingham Properties, which is right over on Alexander Street, 259 Alexander. Brett Davidson was over there earlier today and described what he saw, and he said that the blinds, the drapes had been closed on that business. He is there efforting to get more information from employees at Buckingham Properties.
All right, we'll continue to monitor this story. You want to stay with WHEC.com as well for additional information throughout the day.